Hello everyone and welcome to today's demonstration. I'm going to be painting a more easy beginner's painting. This is going to be our Valentine themed art stream demo. So I believe everyone should be able to get their heads around some M-birds. So M-birds are what we're going to do. I have some drawn out really darkly on the paper, and then faintly around them I have like this loose heart shape. I have some fluffy magical cloud reference photos in the art community Discord. If you would like to see those reference photos, they are in the description below. We're going for this motif, but we're going to carve out a heart shape of clearance that the birds are going to be sailing through. So we're going to start with our gold underpainting. I'm just using a standard palette today. I'm not going to use the fluorescent pink or anything crazy. I have some cloud shapes that are defined in the thumbnail, and I'm going to be incorporating light clouds and dark clouds to carve out this shape. Also, I'm going to try to get the values in with the underpainting. But you know, I can always make a lot of negative shapes and keep on working back and forth with these colors, so. They're clouds, you can do hardly any wrong. But that's why I have the heart shape really lightly painted on. There's typically wind up in the sky, especially when big storm clouds are roaming by, so they usually have a direction that they're going in, and that might be helpful to keep in mind as you're painting, the direction that the clouds might be going in. That's really up to you. There's also some pretty low wind days that occur. My darker shapes are going to be here. Everything else I feel like is going to be a little bit on the lighter side. And then they're going to come into the clearance shape a bit too. This would be cute to paint on a card or just give as a standalone piece. But I really like that it's not just overt big red heart, kind of like these little stickers that I have all around. I'm just going to keep the very lightest value for the inside of the heart. Well, it's going to be easier to keep track of that way. A really big puffy cloud kind of coming out of this side. Okay, after you have everything all covered up in gold, you're gonna want to put in some dark purple clouds. I'm going to be using our smaller filbert for this. And I'm going to take the magenta, some ultramarine blue, and some white. Get something that looks like a medium purple that's a little bit more on the warmer side of things. I'm just going to start with that. And I'm going to keep my shapes really loose, and I'm just going to scrub them on. Keeping some fluffy shapes in mind. And I'm leaving lots of room in between everything because I'm going to want to incorporate a lot of different colors into this. As the light is bouncing around the sky and all these big fluffy shapes, there's going to be a lot of gradients happening. I'm not afraid to do some dry brushing, especially right now. There's nothing to lose. I'm going to take some cerulean blue and I'm going to put it on the side of that purple that I just mixed. This is like a little bit bluer of a version of this color. I think I may have grabbed a little too much on my brush there. I'll ditch some of that. So I just want to add this to a couple places to add some dimension. Remember, if you are picking up paint, because it's not quite dry, so I'm doing a lot of dry brushing here, then move to another area. Part of the reason this happens is I am painting on a smooth material. I love the way the gold is pushing through the purple. That's a really pretty thing that's happening. Okay, let's just move up in value. So now let's make a color that is got magenta, cad red, and white, and I can just branch off of that purple color, that's fine. There's still a lot of cerulean blue in your brush, then you're gonna get some a more muted pink color. Just keep that in mind. That may or may not be what you're going for. I'm gonna go to the edge of the dark purple and I'm just gonna dry brush this color around. Keeping puffy shapes in mind.
Is an incredible thing, and we don't know love like we should. We always talk about I have unconditional love. Unconditional love is we don't even know, because if a person stops stimulating us, we
You can always pull more purple over the pink if you feel like you went too far, but I'm not really too concerned about that at this point. We're also going to be negative painting the sky color on to these clouds, so we're going to be able to create a lot of form at that point. Okay, I'm gonna need to clean out my brush all the way for this next step because I'm gonna be incorporated some melon color into these top clouds that are receiving the most light. And I have blue in this brush, and that is gonna make a muddy, yucky melon. So that's gotta get a lot more clean than it is now. And some clean water there. That's looking pretty good. Okay, white. We'll mix this up here away from everything. This is a fresh palette, so it should be really clean. White, yellow, and just a touch of cad red. That's a good medium melon color. I can go darker and lighter from there. And I'm definitely going to want to gradate this color for sure. Just add some more depth to it. Right now I'm just getting a large amount of it on there. Grab some white and lighten it up on this edge. I think it's going to be pretty fun to cut in the sky shapes. Some more white here, and I'm overlapping the edge of the heart. Just one of the reasons we wanted to keep that outline super faint. Okay, so now some yellow. Just lightly putting that on there. And now some darker color. I'm gonna bring it onto the corner of the painting. I like the corners of the painting to be a little bit darker in value. Keeps your eye inside the scene a little bit better. Although since this composition is a center focal point, all eyes in the middle type thing, there's not going to be a lot of confusion where your eye needs to go. Okay, I'm warming it up there. I think I might want to put some of this melon down on the bottom of this cloud form. I'm not totally convinced where I want to keep it and where I don't want it to be. I can decide that later. Okay, let's see, what do I have drawn? I have a big fluffy shape here, here, and then I've got some wispies coming out here. And then there's some other wispies coming up from here. Gonna lighten those up a bit. Almost have all our gradients in. Now I'm starting to do some of the texture work. Now that our lights are in, our darkest darks are in, and I'm putting a little bit more form, a little bit more cloud form. This step is going to be really highly individualized, depending on you and how you feel. Just kind of nice. It's like a metaphor for the whole project. Are your clouds feeling fluffy and light, or heavy, dark, and intense? I feel like that needs to be more wispy there. Dog dreams. Okay, when you are happy with your cloud shapes, which I feel like I am pretty happy with my cloud shapes now, maybe I'll overlap some of this warm purple back over the light colors that I put in. Same motions throughout the whole thing, same brush, just a filbert brush, just using like kind of like a wax on, wax off motion. The reason why I like using a filbert for this, if it's not totally obvious, is the top of it is kind of like a cloud shape. It's kind of like got that cumulonimbus round to it. Okay, now I'm gonna mix some cloud, not cloud, sky blue. We're gonna go from really, really light to, well, I guess more muted. And I'm not gonna be using the filbert anymore, I don't think. I'm just gonna use this flat. Nice long bouncy flat. Cerulean blue and white. That's what we use. Hopefully that's light enough. Okay, so the birds are going through a hole in the clouds. So I think just so that I don't have to think about it anymore, I'm gonna cut that shape in first. And then I can overlap some little wispy clouds onto it if I choose. Go with a light blue color, and I'm not exactly going to follow the line work. Not exactly. So I kind of want it to look like, instead of literally being a heart, kind of like, oh look, the clouds are making a heart. Like a serendipitous kind of thing. Not incredibly literal. It's okay, there's plenty of literal Valentine's art in the world. And I'm going really light with my brushwork. Kind of like tickling the edges. You could paint around your embers, or you could just go right over them and just wipe the paint. You just need to be able to see where they are so you can reinforce them with like a purple or a blue later. But if you do a super good job of painting around them, you might not have to do the overpainting later. Just maybe. I think I might. I might touch them with some medium purple. Okay, now that I have that out of the way, you know, I think I'm going to get more white paint. Okay, got more white paint on board. Going to be going towards the left side of the painting and dragging in from the outside because there's some wispy clouds, using the side of my brush and just dragging in. There's some of those wispies that made their way into the heart. There's some shapes going off to the left a little bit too. I don't know what way this wind is going. It is spiraling. Okay, just make sure that all your blue chunks make sense. As long as they're going in a direction that kind of makes sense. As you're cutting your blue sky around your big fluffy clouds, just keep in mind what you had intended. But as long as everything still works for you, then cloud rules. Don't be afraid to add some sky holes or bird holes throughout, especially on the edges of your big fluffy clouds. And if you are using a flat brush, you can use the different sides that you're flat to make different shapes. And then you use a darker blue color in the lower half of the painting. Okay, now I am doing an overall check of where we are. I'm seeing that these shapes are a little too scattered. I'm gonna like mass them a little bit better. So I'm gonna make a mass of blue kind of like over here, and then more of a mass over on this side. I wanna keep in mind that the sky on the right is gonna be a bit darker. Also need to make this cloud have more of a shape while I'm doing this. Sometimes I feel like it's a little harder to wrap your mind around negative painting clouds. After so many years of just putting white fluffy masses on stuff, you really have to like take a break and step back. Now that the paint is dry and our heart clearing, our heart-shaped clearing, I can see what needs a little bit of a second coat of paint. Since that is our focal point, you're going to want to pay attention to the details in that area. When I am happy with the placement of all this blue, I'm going to overlap some of the purple and the pink onto the blue. Okay, now while I'm waiting for all that blue to dry up, I'm gonna detail our little embers. Our embers, because we're in this together. Okay, just some magenta. I think we'll do it. No, cerulean blue and magenta. Don't want them to be too dark. I mean, there is some distance between us and them. Us, the viewer of the painting. Just be real careful. Okay, now remember, the more water that you have in your script or liner brush bristles, the more control you're going to have, but you might need to do a couple layers of paint. So it's a big compromise between the two as to what you decide to do with that. I'm going to take a round brush now, and some of that peach and pink color, I'm just going to overlap it into the blue. think the color that I mixed is just a little too dark. There we go. This is a nice yellow highlight color. Gonna put some light peach on a couple of those wispy clouds coming through the middle. Just a little detail for our focal point. A couple more highlights, and then I'm gonna move onto the purple and drag a little bit of the purple out. Okay, now it's a magenta-based purple. Cerulean blue, magenta, and some white. Maybe a little bit more magenta. Doesn't have to be an exact match. Put a little bit of water into it, just blend it. Now be careful you don't have too much on your brush, otherwise you're going to make a very not loose shape come out of the front of your otherwise really light and fluffy cloud. You might even want to switch back to the filbert for this. I would not feel bad recommending that at all, because I am going to just dry brush some shapes back over the blue a little bit. Trying to keep it loose. Okay, I'm just making sure to layer up and blend anything weird that happened during that little exchange. There's a couple little weird shapes that happened. Okay, now I'm kind of like stepping back. Is our shape defined enough, or is it too subtle? I feel like this is going to be super subjective based on you. Based on you and what you're looking for. I'm going to take a round brush and define the round, it's not round, the lobe, the top lobe of the heart shape. I'm going to define it a little bit with just a round, small round. A number 2. Or light blue color. I do like that it is broken up by this cloud on the side, but then the shape is continued in a little sky hole there. Possibly, yeah, right there. I'm lightening it up a bit on that left lobe, the anatomy of the Valentine heart, the left upper lobe. Oops. That is an Australian Shepherd hair for all you dog lovers at home. Okay, shape check. Okay, I like that a lot better. It's still subtle, but very much there. And I dig that quite a bit. I'm gonna lighten up around the birds a little bit. I'm gonna do it carefully. Okay, now blending that light color out a bit. And if you do endeavor to do something like this, you still have time. There's still a couple days. I wish you luck. There are lots of wonderful bird lovey-dovey puns that can go along with a theme like this. And I quite look forward to the tape peel, which I will be posting on Valentine's Day. Which I'm sure will be just lovely. Just some little white wispies to break up some space and add some interest into those blue areas down below. Fantastic. Well, I do hope that some of you work up the courage to try this out. I think this can be done by people of all skill levels, enjoyed pretty well. It's a lovely thought and a lovely little design, and I quite enjoyed it. So thank you so much for supporting my work and joining me on this little demonstration. And until next time, happy painting.